Hey, True Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's October 10th, 2016, the day we call Christopher Columbus Day, a day that's been celebrated as a holiday since 1937. Since 1971, it's been celebrated on the second Monday of October. We'll talk about why that is. The purpose of this video is to wake people up to the reality of this nation, what the purpose of this nation is, and why we would celebrate a man such as Christopher Columbus, who was a murderer, a tyrant, a rapist. If you have never read the journal entries of Christopher Columbus, they can be found in Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. Christopher Columbus wrote about how the native people who lived here, who he called Indian, he wrote about how they were clueless, how they had no weapons, they weren't warlike, they were easily killed, their women were easily captured and raped, their people were easily taken for prisoner. The reason we celebrate Christopher Columbus is because this is a nation run by people who are like Christopher Columbus, the worst among us. The United States of America is governed by the worst among us. That's why this nation, since its inception, has been at war. It's been killing. It's been terrorizing people. We live in a horrible nation. It's always been an evil nation. It started with evil. It started with a genocide. It started with Christopher Columbus, who we celebrate as a holiday. So, what we're going to talk about is why he really came over here and called the people Indian, why we celebrate him in October, and who is responsible for all of this, and what we, the people of this nation, need to do. Christopher Columbus was Jewish, and he was paid for by the Catholic Church. This nation was established by Jewish banker tyrants. This nation still has major Catholic Jesuit influence over it. The people who run this nation are the Freemasons, the Zionist Jews, the Jesuits, and they are all under the same umbrella as Freemasonry, a Masonic order. Notice that in Gematria, Christopher Columbus Day equals 104, just like Jerusalem. This nation was established with an agenda in place, an agenda where much of it has been realized since, such as the establishment of the false Jewish state, Israel. That is who is in Israel, the false Jews, the Zionist Jews. In Revelation, the final book of the Bible, the book of prophecy, it says the false Jews will rule in the end time. This is who they are. They're Christopher Columbus. They're the people who govern over us now. They're the people who are in Israel. Every single day, the United States of America gives Israel $104 million. That is the exact figure that we give Israel every day, and it's not a coincidence. Jerusalem, 104. This nation was established July 4th, 1776, a date with 104 numerology. The Zionist nation of Israel, the Zionist Jews, the Freemasons, they're responsible for what happened on September 11th, all part of their agenda. They built that new building there, One World Trade Center for One World Jewish Order, and they made it 104 stories tall. Not a coincidence. So now let's talk about the Freemasons, their signature number 33, and how it's all over the story of Christopher Columbus. October is the only month that has a gematria of 33. Gematria, in case you're new here, the practice of coding numbers into words. If you're an elementary school teacher and you're watching this video, you want to teach your children about this knowledge. You can teach it to them in a more sugar-coated way, but you want to give the children of this world this knowledge so that we can create an army of people to overthrow the tyranny that's upon us. The Zionist Jewish tyranny, the Masonic tyranny. So many of you elementary school teachers, you go to school and you teach these lessons to children that are complete bullshit. How many of you are watching this video after Christopher Columbus Day, after teaching these nice, rosy lessons about Christopher Columbus? I'm sure you left out the part about how easy it was to rape the women, murder the men. That's what's wrong with American education. All it teaches kids is bullshit and nothing that they need to know. And everyone thinks they need to hide children from the truth and swear words, while at the same time teaching them rosy lies, such as Christopher Columbus. So anyway, October, the only month with 33 gematria. Christopher Columbus came over here and called the people Indian because he thought he was in India. That's just another bullshit story to play with our heads. Do you really think the man was so dumb that he sailed all the way across the ocean and thought he was in India? You know, if you do think that, it's because you're an American and you've been raised to be an idiot your whole life. Think about Christopher Columbus's name, his initials, C.C. C.C. What's C? It's the third letter. A, B, C, C3, C.C. 33. Christopher Columbus 33, paid for by the Catholic Church, the C.C., the 33. The Zionist Nation of Israel, created by a 33-member vote by the very Jewish United Nations, which has a symbol broken up into 33 parts. Zionist Nation of Israel, created on the 333rd day of the year. Anyway, Christopher Columbus sailed to the Americas, as they called them, Americas, 33. Masonry, 33. Secrecy, 33. So why do we celebrate it on the second Monday of October? Well, second is another word with 33 gematria, and I have no doubt that that's the reason they chose the second Monday. Again, 33 is the master teacher number in numerology. Teacher equals 33. What do teachers do in American public schools? They get children to believe bullshit. There's very few lessons in the American education system, K through 12, that are of relevance to anyone's life. You know, math is taught in a nonsensical way, a baseless way, a non-applied way. That's why so many Americans are horrible at math and can't do simple arithmetic, accounting for their own bank account, for their own finances. And it's all by design. The people who rule over America, the Zionist Jew banker tyrants, they want to be able to rip people off in terms of consumption, interest, banking. Everything in this nation is for a reason. They want a really dumb populace, a really ignorant populace that's very easy to control, manipulate, and that's exactly what they have in the United States of America. The reason they pay teachers so little is because they want dumb people teaching. 95% plus of teachers in American schools, and I'm talking about K through college, do not belong in a classroom. Almost every American teacher is a moron, no critical thinking skills. All they know how to do is follow a lesson plan and regurgitate the information given to them. Teacher 33, believe 33. What American education does is it creates believers, people who have no thinking capability, people who don't want to think. This is why 33. This numerology, gematria, it seems to be a truly a form of magic. Magic equals 33. There's a reason the people of this nation are under hypnosis. There's a reason beyond that people can't think. There's a reason that so many people can only believe. Something has been done to us. These Freemasons, they pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. There's something about these esoteric practices that deceive the masses, that control the masses. They don't do all this coding for no reason. The name Christopher Columbus, as we write it in English, has the same gematria as Freemasonry and prophecy. The Freemasons work from the book of prophecy, the book of Revelation. Revelation equals 121. Look at the day Christopher Columbus supposedly arrived in the New World. A date that's written 12/10, October 12th in most parts of the world. 1210. Revelation's 121. 121. I'm sure that this date is made up by the numbers for their prophecy code. Freemasons do everything by the numbers of prophecy. Delaware, the first state established on a date with 106 numerology. The Zionist Nation of Israel, recognized as a nation on a date with 106 numerology. In the Jewish history books, they call it a date of prophecy. Gematria, mostly a Jewish practice. Anyway, Christopher Columbus, prophecy, Freemasonry. You see this? The year 1492 has an independent numerology of 14 plus 92, 106. Just like Columbus, just like prophecy. This year, on May 18th, the Washington Post released this article about how the Catholic Church had this 523-year-old letter from Christopher Columbus. May 18th, the 139th day of 2016, a leap year. You know, Christopher, Freemasonry, Catholic Church, CC, all of these things under the Masonic umbrella. That's also the day that leaves 227 days left in the year. Remember, 22 divided by 7 gives you pi. The numbers for cycles and circles. So anyway, the reason they did this 523 years after the fact this year, we've seen a lot of this number this year. 523 is the 99th prime number. When you write out 13, it sums to 99. 13, another number very important to the Freemasons. They have numbers that are of great significance to them. It's the reason that this nation's flag has 13 stripes on it. The flag was established June 14th, 1777. 6 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. The date numerology is 33. 33. 13 stripes. 13 colonies. 13 years of public school programming. Think about how many times you were in school and you had to learn about Christopher Columbus. Our time was truly wasted. All those years in school, and mostly all they taught us was bullshit. Think about how almost every single year of school you had to learn about Christopher Columbus. Learn about this tyrant. Just before the American Revolution, the Bavarian Illuminati was established on May 1st, 1776. That dates the 121st day of the year. That's a date with 99 numerology. It was established with 13 families, the Bavarian Illuminati. 13 connects to 99. It's entirely possible that there never even was a Christopher Columbus and the characters just made up. Made up story. You know, maybe there's hints of the truth in there. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Think about it. I mean, when you control information, when you control news, when you control history, you can make up the past however you want it. Right now, kids are in American schools learning about how Osama bin Laden took down the World Trade Centers on September 11, 2001. There's no such thing as Osama bin Laden, and no man in a cave took down those buildings. Your own government did. Your own Freemason, Zionist, Jew government. That's what I mean. You can just teach people anything, make them believe it, and then it becomes the truth, even though it's a lie. So many things in this nation are that way. Most people in this nation, the things they learned in school are deliberate lies. Most people, all they know are lies, fictions from this game. The Freemasons, who pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge, the invisible architects of society. So anyway, this being a holiday, I just want to remind you of the significance of the word holiday. Masonic equals 74, Jewish 74, holiday 74, Independence Day 74, Roman Catholicism 74. Think about Independence Day, July 4th. We write it 7-4 in this nation. Let's also talk about that phrase, New World. Christopher Columbus discovered the New World where the Indian people already lived. How can you discover something when people were already there living there? You know, you can't. They teach us that way because it's nonsensical. Our whole lives we're taught things that are nonsensical because that's what we're to be. We're to be the nonsensical people. No critical thinking, no reasoning, just the ability to believe nonsense, you know? Our history is nonsense. The science we've been taught is nonsense. The spiritualities we've been taught are nonsense. We're just expected to believe all of it. This is the symbol of the Freemasons. The big G, it represents the number 33 as well as the number 42. In Francis Bacon gematria, A through Z, that's 1 through 26, right? In Francis Bacon gematria, in case you didn't just catch what I said, the alphabet's 26 letters, Z's the 26th letter. Francis Bacon gematria, lowercase a through lowercase z is 1 through 26. Uppercase a through uppercase z is 27 through 52. Big G is 33. 33 is the number of Freemason obsession. This is the Freemason compass and square. Big G also represents 42 in English gematria or English Sumerian gematria, also sometimes called Satanic gematria. That's because G's the 7th letter and you multiply each letter times 6 in this method. 7 times 6, 42. War is 42. You know, Christopher Columbus came here and planted the seeds of war, genocide. Military equals 44. Genocide 44. Kill 44. Numbers of death and destruction. Anyway, war 42, gun 42, math 42. Christopher Columbus came over and documented how these people had no weapons. They had no knives. They had no swords. They had no guns. They were so easily to be conquered. And think about how we killed the natives. Killed them with smallpox. Purposeful destruction. Biological warfare. Even back then. Anyway, the Freemasons, they're big on math. Math, 42. New World, 42. New Testament, 42. Remember, the Europeans came over here with their 42-line Bibles, which is what they were called. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations leading up to Jesus. They came over here with their New Testaments, their 42-line Bibles, and they said, ooh, these native people, these people, you know, they don't even hide their private parts. These are godless heathens. They don't have Bibles. They're not afraid of their horrific bodies. Well, these people are ripe for killing. You know? This is what the Bible has been used for all throughout history. War, killing, death, divide and conquer. This is the Freemason agenda. Freemasons believe in divide and conquer, order out of chaos, destroy and rebuild. Welcome to the Americas. So anyway, New World, New Testament, economics, knowledge, history, architect, building, Freemason. These are all the creations of the Freemasons. And these are all the things that they have used to rule over us. You think God would write a book and waste your time making you read 42 straight names to get to Jesus? No. That's what the Freemasons did, because they do everything by the numbers. That's why there's so much 42 in the Bible. Bible's full of 42. Let's look at some other spellings of the name Christopher Columbus. Cristoforo Colombo, gematria of 213. That's interesting because 213 is the number for Nimrod, the original Freemason from the Bible. Christopher Colombo, 213. His name in Spanish has the same gematria as the numerology of the date he landed. A date that breaks down to 11, the master number. Pretty interesting. That name, the small way, also has gematria 47, the reflection of 74. July 4th can also be written 4/7. The Freemasons have Euclid's 47th problem. It's about how to establish foundation. Think about Christopher Columbus, the foundation of the history of the nation as we know it. The word foundation 47, authority 47, obey 47. 47, 74 special numbers. Judge 47, jury 74. Beast 47, beauty 74. Plus a whole lot more. Another spelling for his name, Christopher Combo. Gematria of 64, like American, Israel, Zion, Thelema. The Portuguese spelling, gematria of 181, the 42nd prime number. Again, we just talked about 42. I'll link this post. If you want to come here and click this link at the bottom, it has the Howard Zinn chapter on Christopher Columbus, a lot of his journal entries, the things he wrote. It's an evil man we celebrate here, you know? And right now, as I make this video, elementary classrooms all throughout the nation celebrating Christopher Columbus. Children learning about how he discovered a land where people already existed. The American education is not about educating you. It's not about empowering you. It's not about making you knowledgeable. It's about turning you into a socialized, useful idiot. And it starts from a young age. This channel is about deprogramming, undoing the lies, and waking people up so we can take this world back. You know, since the time I've been a little kid, having to be in a classroom learning from some idiotic adult, which I could already see through. I've been wanting to change this world. I knew as a young child I was getting taught bullshit. I knew the adults teaching me didn't have any business teaching me, And that's the truth for almost every kid in this nation. 95+% of teachers, they have no business in a classroom. They're not smart enough. They're just socialized morons. All they can do is regurgitate the lies. And so many of these idiots in the classroom, they worship the lies. They think America is a good place. It's not. It's an evil nation ruled by evil people that turns little children into evil people as well. The majority of the U.S. population is truly evil. I mean, look at them. What do they live for? They live for themselves. Do they care about truth? No, they don't care at all. When they're confronted with the truth, they demonize it. They demonize the person. This is a nation that exists at the expense of the poorer people of this world. And at the same time, this is a nation full of all sorts of people who live in poverty and, live a harsh reality every day. All part of the legacy of Christopher Columbus, who came here and destroyed a sane people. Had you been born into North America hundreds of years ago before Christopher Columbus, you would have been born into a civilization that had community, sanity, not this one. Until next time, true seekers.